Did you know that the XIT ranch in the United States spans 3 million acres and holds over 150,000 cattle? It sounds unbelievable, but it's pure reality. The XIT is the largest private ranch in the country, with a history full of challenges, achievements, and a unique legacy. Have you ever imagined what it's like to manage a property of this scale? What are the secrets behind the success of such a rural empire? Get ready to discover everything about this giant of livestock and its greatness. Hello, I'm Juninho Melo, and this is the Celebrities Farm channel. If you're curious about the XIT ranch and want to learn more about the fascinating world of livestock, rural lifestyles, and the incredible stories that happen in the largest ranches in the world, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. This way, you won't miss any exclusive content about the big farms and personalities of this universe. The XIT ranch is not just a ranch, it's a true empire. With 3 million acres, it covers an area larger than many US states. What makes this place so special? Besides its colossal size, the XIT has a history full of challenges, pioneering, and overcoming obstacles. Founded in the late 19th century, the ranch became a true showcase of the American entrepreneurial spirit. Its creation was the result of a land exchange that allowed for the construction of one of the largest livestock empires in history. Over the years, the XIT became an example of resilience, showing how an audacious dream can turn into a grand reality. Did you know that the construction of the railroad was crucial to the success of the ranch? How did a simple land agreement give rise to one of the greatest symbols of American rural culture? Stay with us, and let's explore every detail of this fascinating story. The XIT ranch was one of the greatest achievements in American livestock. Its story begins with the idea of creating an immense property that would serve as an example of how the livestock industry could be profitable and sustainable. But it was no easy task. To understand the greatness of the XIT, we need to look at the historical context in which it emerged. In the late 19th century, the United States was in the process of expanding westward, with new settlements being formed and lands being resold by the government. The XIT was created to promote large-scale livestock farming, but the challenges were immense. First, the size of the ranch required highly advanced infrastructure. Managing 3 million acres required an efficient communication system and highly organized cattle control. The first decades of the ranch were full of adaptations and adjustments. The construction of the railroad, which crossed the property, was crucial. It not only facilitated cattle transportation, but also opened doors to new markets, helping to consolidate the ranch as one of the largest and most profitable of its time. Over the years, the management of the XIT demonstrated just how innovative its founders were. They used the best practices of the time, adopting technologies and management techniques that were revolutionary for that period. The creation of barbed wire fences and the introduction of irrigation systems helped make the ranch more efficient. Even facing droughts and other climatic challenges, the ability to adapt was what kept the XIT strong for so many decades. But the XIT was not just about livestock. It was also a showcase for local cultures. The ranch housed a great diversity of animals and even agricultural experiments. The integrated approach of raising cattle alongside grain and vegetable cultivation was one of the most impressive innovations. During its peak, the ranch had one of the largest cattle populations in the country, a true livestock powerhouse. And more, the relationship with Native Americans and the workers who helped maintain the ranch was marked by mutual collaboration and respect for local traditions. The impact of the XIT ranch on the local economy cannot be underestimated. With its huge production of meat and other livestock products, the ranch helped foster the growth of surrounding towns and provided thousands of jobs. It significantly contributed to the development of the meat industry in the US and was responsible for supplying markets around the world. This massive rural empire has something to teach us about perseverance and innovation. Even in the face of challenges that could have destroyed any other enterprise, the XIT remained strong and adapted to the times. The great lesson here is vision, innovation, and constant adaptation are key to lasting success. Like the XIT, many other ranches and farms over the years followed in its footsteps, using the same innovation tactics to grow and thrive. What will the next rural empires learn from the legacy of the XIT? When analyzing the XIT ranch in depth, we realize that its greatness goes beyond impressive numbers and historical facts. The true legacy of the ranch lies in how it influenced the very way we think about livestock farming and rural management in the United States. The story of the XIT is one of innovation, but also of calculated risks and resilience in the face of difficulties that could have destroyed any other property. One of the greatest legacies of the XIT was the introduction of a business model that integrated different aspects of rural life into a single, efficient structure. Before the XIT, American livestock farming was characterized by more dispersed and often inefficient management. There was no single effective system for managing large herds of cattle and dealing with the climatic challenges that affected production. The idea of gathering millions of acres of land to create a single livestock empire was not just about size, it was also about efficiency and innovation. A classic example of this innovation was the implementation of barbed wire fences. They revolutionized the way ranches were structured, allowing cattle to be controlled much more efficiently. Before fences, cattle roamed freely, and the difficulty of controlling large herds was a constant problem. The use of barbed wire not only solved this, but also helped maintain the integrity of the ranch, allowing the land to be subdivided and pastures to be better managed. Another crucial point in the success of the XIT was water resource management. Water has always been one of the greatest challenges for ranches, especially in the vast, arid lands of the American West. The introduction of irrigation systems and the construction of reservoirs helped ensure the ranch had access to water, even during the driest spells. This adaptation was vital not only for the survival of the ranch, but also for its long-term prosperity. Furthermore, the XIT ranch was a pioneer in implementing a railroad network that crossed its land. The construction of railways was a milestone in the history of the ranch and represented a major innovation for the time. The transportation of cattle and livestock products by rail allowed the XIT to reach distant markets like Chicago, where meats were processed and sent throughout the country and even abroad. This transportation network was key to the ranch's expansion and commercial success. However, what may be most fascinating about the XIT is not just how it grew, but how it adapted to drastic changes. During the Great Depression, for example, the XIT was forced to restructure itself to survive the economic crisis. Many ranches closed their doors during this period, but the XIT was able to stay strong due to its strategic management and ability to reinvent itself. This moment in history shows how long-term vision and flexibility in the face of difficulties can turn a crisis into an opportunity. One of the most profound aspects of the XIT's story was its interaction with Native American peoples. In the early days of its founding, the ranch had a tense relationship with the local indigenous communities. However, over time, there was a significant shift, with the relationships becoming more collaborative. Many of the workers who helped build the XIT were Native Americans and other local residents who understood the importance of the ranch to the regional economy. This mutual collaboration was crucial to the success of the ranch, as it represented an integration of cultures and rural practices. Through a series of innovations and effective resource management, the XIT ranch became an icon of success. However, its legacy cannot be seen only in its material achievements, but also in the lessons it left for future rural entrepreneurs. The XIT teaches us that in business, constant innovation, adaptation to change, and long-term strategic vision are key. The success of an empire is not measured just by the size of its property, but by how it overcomes challenges and reinvents itself over time. This ability to adapt and innovate made the XIT ranch a model to be followed by subsequent generations of ranchers and agricultural business owners. It is a clear example that hard work, entrepreneurial spirit, and strategic vision can transform a simple piece of land into a lasting empire. Therefore, what the XIT represents goes beyond mere meat production. It is a symbol of how hard work and innovation can create legacies that withstand the test of time. Throughout this journey through the XIT ranch, we explored how this livestock giant not only transformed the industry, but also became a symbol of resilience, innovation, and long-term vision. From its creation to the challenges faced during the Great Depression, the XIT teaches us something fundamental. No matter the size of the obstacle, it is possible to overcome it with adaptation and creativity. The story of the XIT is a reflection of the American entrepreneurial spirit. At the heart of this story is the courage of visionaries who dared to go beyond conventional limits, creating something that would transcend time. They weren't just creating a ranch, they were shaping a legacy. The combination of hard work and the ability to adapt to adversity was what ensured the longevity of this rural empire. The big question is, how can we apply the lessons of the XIT to our own lives and businesses? The answer is clear. Lasting success does not come from complacency, but from the constant pursuit of innovation and adaptation. In a constantly changing world, the ability to adjust and a forward-looking vision are differentiators that can make all the difference. Whether in a rural empire or any other venture, the impact of the XIT is not limited to its physical borders, but spreads throughout American rural culture. It shaped the way ranches and farms are managed today, serving as a reference for those who want to build something great, something lasting. In many ways, the XIT has become an icon, not just of livestock, but also of perseverance and the human ability to turn difficulties into opportunities. As we close this exploration of the XIT ranch, it is clear that the story of this ranch is more than just numbers and historical records. It is a testament to what is possible when vision meets execution and when passion and determination are put into action. The legacy of the XIT is eternal, not because of its vastness, but because of its ability to withstand time and challenges. Now, as we reflect on all of this, it is impossible not to be inspired by its story and how it can guide us in our own journeys. The biggest lesson the XIT leaves us is that there is always room for evolution. If you are seeking your own empire, your own legacy, remember, the journey is not easy, but perseverance and a clear vision of where you want to go can make all the difference. If you made it this far, congratulations. You are someone who seeks more than just stories. You seek to learn from the great examples of the past to build a magnificent future. The legacy of the XIT ranch teaches us that nothing is impossible when we have vision, determination, and the ability to adapt. And this can be applied in any area of life, whether in business, relationships, or personal goals. Now, if you were inspired by this story and want to continue discovering more about the greatest rural empires and the fascinating personalities of this universe, be sure to watch the 2 recommended videos at the end screen. Each one offers more valuable insights for those who want to grow and learn from the greatest. And of course, before you leave, comment below on something you learned from the XIT ranch or a part of this story that stood out to you. I want to hear your thoughts. If you made it to the end, once again, congratulations. You are part of a select group of people who don't give up. I challenge you to keep striving for your own legacy, your own empire. Don't stop here. Success is within your reach.